10 seconds remaining.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Zotac NA Open Qualifier Grand Finals. It is a best-of-3 series between Team Freedom, or what is, I guess, Freedom now, and Complexity. So this should be a good one, best-of-3 series. We're getting into it right now. Of course, Freedom having to take down a couple of good teams. Complexity just beat Fire to move to the Grand Finals at a best-of-1. So the bracket, a bit tough for both of these teams. We've made it through, though, our last match of this week's NA Open Qualifier. Now, reminder, guys, that this is only the second NA Open Qualifier for Zotac. There are 2 more left, so even if one of these teams doesn't win, they have a chance to play on next week if they want to. Of course, first week was taken out by Stan King's Stan King's team, the new FDL, I guess, the new wanted, whatever you want to call it. They were able to take the Open Qualifiers last week, and now this week it looks to be Complexity or Freedom. As we jump into the game, it is a best-of-3 series here, of course, on moonducktv. My name is Mont. With me, of course, for the first time in a long time, is my good friend Ryu. How the hell are you, buddy?
Good, man. This is I'm recovering from a little bit of sickness, so my throat might be a bit.
I was wondering, you sounded a little sick.
Yeah, I reached manhood finally, like 24.
Your balls dropped, and
finally, dude.
Yeah, it took a while. You were always a man to me, Ryu. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I always love touching your pecs too. I mean, it's
thanks,
great.
Buddy. Yeah, it's a pleasure not everyone is able to have, unfortunately. So, but this is going to be a BO3 series, man, and this should be a good one. We already talked about the players on either side. I think Ryu, probably the favorites straight up, are going to be Complexity, I would imagine.
You'd have to think so too. But as you say that, there's a Jubei Wisp, so I'm not too sure how Wisp fares. Nobody's been picking it, even the strongest teams, so we'll have to see how it works out for them, but if there is any hope, maybe it is in Jubei's Wisp.
Yeah, it's always a dangerous hero, even if it's not being picked. I feel like you got a right pairing in terms of a core hero with it. It can be very frustrating to deal with. But also another hero that you need to keep in mind that's also kind of crazy, and this is a Complexity special, is the Leshrac that they've picked up. So they've already gone for one tower pushy type of game with a Terrorblade and Venomancer. They might do the same in this game with the Leshrac already picked up. So yeah.
Yep, and then they get the Lifestealer, so they have a hero that's really strong in the lane for the Centaur. They can use him as a vehicle. They can still run dual lanes and put Wisp mid with somebody too, and they can pressure that Centaur with just the Lifestealer alone if they want to. So it's a really good hero just to have here, even if they want to put it solo. So both teams they have well-rounded, starting heroes right now.
And actually, going back to your point about the Lifestealer versus Centaur, Complexity picked the Centaur last game, and for the first 5 minutes of the game, Talera on the Centaur could not walk in the lane. So he just ended up jungling for a long time up until he felt comfortable enough to go back into that lane and have some help potentially. So you're right. Against the Lifestealer, it's a bit difficult. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, this is a hero. Lifestealer's been picked, I think, pretty often, at least in the games that I've seen recently. I think it's starting to become that. It's just that good hero to grab. It's just one of those solid heroes that you can always do well with. So.
Yeah, Complexity, they used to ban Lifestealer a lot. I would say about a week or two ago, even 3, even in the qualifiers, because the hero is just super strong right now, and he can just stand on his own. And then we're gonna have to see what vehicles they want to pair for it right now.
Yeah.
There's still Slardar in the pool that's really strong. Even if somebody gets Stampede, it doesn't matter because they're just gonna be stun locked, amplified, and just shredded.
Yeah.
So they have to think about that. Another thing to note though is that Complexity, they could go for heavy push strats. So if they do have a Slardar or Lifestealer and Wisp, they don't have that great of a D push and stuff. So they have to make sure they don't lose all their towers too. So they have to be a little bit wary about that, picking around that too.
Which is why it was interesting they picked the heroes they did against the Leshrac, but it's still very early on. Obviously, there's a lot to deal with. I think the ban for the Terrorblade was a very good ban coming out on this dire side. I think getting that away, especially after watching last game, is pretty important. But there's other heroes still available in terms of pushing. We saw the 4-position Venomancer coming out, or I think it was 4-position Veno for Swindles while Z-Freak played the Rubik. That turned out pretty well. He had a Midas 10 minutes into the game or some ridiculous thing. So, anywho, next couple bands coming out. We've seen the Undying ban, the Warlock ban, the Clinks ban. How do you feel about Warlock right now? I feel like that hero is very hit or miss in terms of some of the games we've seen, especially in DAC.
Hey, Clinks is very interesting. I love the hero, but if he can't get away with the early laning phase, then it feels like he's completely useless. But he can still just as long as he gets that level 6, man, he just goes around everywhere. He's like an upgraded version of a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
In many regards.
It's actually a very good point. The amount of damage he has to shred people is pretty insane. He could do so with solo pickoffs and stuff like that. It's just a solid, also pretty good for pushing too with searing arrows, and especially if you get like a Desolator later on in the game or something along those lines. I think it's not a bad ban.
So they still need a roaming hero for complexity right now. They also needed a core, and a really good core against Weaver or Lifestealer is Weaver.
Yeah.
It's also really good against Wisp too. You can just Sakuchi in, and as long as you have bugs on him, you feel like you can't do anything. You can't bottle, you can't earn. It's one of the ultimate counters to Wisp sometimes, as long as you get the bugs on him.
Yeah, even if you tether, they're going to know where you are with the bugs, the swarm up onto the IO. And he dies so quickly with the armor reduction, the amount of damage the Weaver pumps out with both Shikuchi and his auto attacks with Geminid attack. You're not wrong.
You're like forced to go second item after like earn and bottle. You're forced to go to Ghost Scepter most of the time.
Which is never fun.
Well, yeah, you don't want that. Disruptor. Well, I thought Disruptor might have been a good pick for complexity too, because that's how you can punish Wisp relocates. But Disruptor is an amazing hero against Centaur. When he stampedes away, you glimpse back, as well as just Weaver. Like Weaver hates silences, and so Silencer was a good pick, as well as this Disruptor now.
Yeah, the positioning that you have to be kind of prepared for now for the raiding team just to deal with this Disruptor is a bit annoying. So not only do you have to be afraid of glimpses, you also have to be afraid of relocate gangs. So positioning-wise, you need to be careful if you're complexity. One bad initiation, you get caught out, and all of a sudden you just give away 2 or 3 kills to this dire team.
Yep, and it also forces Weaver into going for an early BKB. Like, normally on Weaver, you kind of want to go Lincolns and maybe even like all these other items, even then Deso afterwards. But when you play against silences, you're forced into going like niche things or like second item BKB, and then your damage output is heavily hurt. But speaking of which, they might not need to necessarily go BKB anymore since they have Enigma, depending on how this Enigma plays, right? Because we've seen S4, man, he just goes Midas, no mech, and then they go, Blink or BKB or whatever, and then they just fight all the time.
By the way. I love when...
Oh, yeah.
That's like... you often think, like, everybody... Like, I think the more common thing, the more, like, sane thing is to go for those mechs and have your towers, pushing down towers and stuff like that. But you can't deny how good Black Hole can be if used correctly, if initiated with correctly. Not only that, but the rest of his abilities as well. So... if you look at it, really, the Disruptor is the only thing that stops the Enigma Black Hole right now. You're not going to be able to duel the freaking Enigma. He's going to have the Black Hole going. So it's really the glimpse. It's really the Static Storm coming out, all that kind of thing from Disruptor to stop this Enigma in terms of that ability. But remember, he's got plenty of other good abilities as well for pushing and fighting.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what else they would want to go for. Silencer mid used to be like a Tomato thing. He's no longer on Freedom, but they could have maybe done it again here, and it would have been amazing. So that's a really good heads-up ban from complexity. Like you said, there's nothing really that stops Enigma. And then Enigma's going to go for BKB this game.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's like Disruptor, and then once that Glimpse, you can't use the Glimpse anymore. And then just like, oh, crap. Well, it looks like complexity might have a really strong late game here. So it's kind of like on Freedom here to try and draft around that. Since there's no more Silencer, though, it's going to be hard. So they might just have to... weather the storm. They need to make sure they don't get too many melee heroes against Enigma. Like, they have 2 already. And they have Wisp relocate to save the Enigma, whoever's in the Black Hole. But if you have 2 melee cores and a Black Hole, you're pretty much screwed, at least for one of them. Yeah,
that's definitely true. And it's not like, and IO, again, if he could easily get caught in the Black Hole as well, because he's more often than not with that melee hero like the Lifestealer. Storm Spirit is an interesting choice. He could zip around, he could kind of bait out a Black Hole, but if he gets caught in it, he doesn't have a way of... he's just going to die. I feel like there's no way of him being able to, stop the Enigma from Black Holing. This is not like a silencer like we were talking about. But he is tough to bring down. There's not except for the Enigma, maybe the Centaur Stomp, there's not a whole lot of disable early on in this game for the Radiant team. They don't have any real stunts to bring down the Storm early on when he has a 6, but... I don't know, this is a very interesting pick. I'm not sure how I feel about the Storm Spirit Ryu.
I think I love it. I was talking about the vehicles like for the 3rd pick.
Oh, right.
Remember when I was talking about it? And then I was like, okay, so I mentioned Stormed earlier, but normally in this meta, you always want to save your mid or carry for last. And so that means that you kind of don't want it to get countered. Because if they had picked Storm up there, then that means that the enemy team could have picked like Earth Spirit plus Silencer or something, and then Storm's game is just completely ruined most of the time.
Right.
And so they made sure they got some heroes that can counter as well with the Disruptor and Legion. For a Legion, locking down the Weaver in the duel, so they don't need the Slardar to necessarily burst the Weaver. They have the Legion for that. They have Disruptor as well for him. And then the ways to counter Enigma are heroes like Storm, where even if Enigma gets a really big black hole, they have relocate save now, as well as Storm Spirit jumping in on the back lines of them and causing havoc. So even if maybe one of your cores do get caught, at least the Storm is going to live, and he's going to cause havoc in the back line. He also can get the Orchid off on Enigma, so Enigma kind of does have to rush that BKB this game.
Yeah, and I do think the Sven is not a bad pickup either, to be honest. It's another disable that you have. It's one way if you get a blink, and you can blink stun one of these heroes. You can have the Leshrac to follow up the Centaur as well. So they have some extra lockdown with the Sven pickup. Not only that, but obviously very good with God's Strength at fighting. If you could get that black hole off especially, you can just start cleaving people down like crazy. The question, though, is how are they going to lane this, and what are they going to play? They have the Centaur off lane, I would imagine. They have the Weaver, Leshrac, Sven. So now you're kind of curious as to where they're sending these heroes, man.
Yeah, it seems like Weaver mid against Storm is like, I think Storm comes out a little bit ahead. Weaver shouldn't necessarily die, and then maybe if you have a rotation, but because they're playing greedy, it looks like in this game it kind of does feel like Enigma would be jungling. That's like the weird part of it all.
Yeah.
And Susie is playing the Weaver, so it's gonna be a Weaver mid.
Yeah, 747 mid. By the way, he has been crushing it as of recently. He's been playing very well. Felicia Shawn, which of course is 747 Susie, has had the last game against Fire. He did very well on TA. I mean, he's had a great couple of games. He's done really well for himself. But the Freedom / whatever you want to call it lineup. I know that Jubei is more than likely the IO, but as far as everyone else is concerned, you have Boris, I believe, is Valhalla. Storm, I'm not sure. I know they have JK. Is that JK?
That's the Ryu.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
Ryu,
That's gonna be confusing.
Pinoy Ryu. That's not me, guys.
No, not you.
And then, and yeah, because there's like 2 Ryus in the scene right now, maybe even 3. And then he's one of them, so he plays their mid.
You should take a page out of Dakota's book and just change your Twitter handle to Alan. Just become
Alan.
Yeah.
Well, change it to
God,
Dead,
I think
dead Raptor.
Jesus Christ, he is done. Talera helps get the first blood. They get off the Stormhammer, followed up with the Split Earth, and that's more than enough. It is the Swindles Leshrac, by the way, and of course that means that it is the Moose Fen. And the Z-Freak Enigma. We know how good this guy is, so we'll wait and see how things do pan out here. But First Blood will go the way of the Radiant. Not only that, but they get a great Observer Ward down here as well. They see exactly what's going on over here towards this boundary rune area. They'll know that the Storm is going to have it, and they're going to send 2 heroes bot, or actually, this might be an aggressive trial lane. The Legion, Disruptor, and the IO together. They'll leave the Lifestealer solo safe top lane. As you mentioned, if he's against just the Centaur, it's not a bad fight for him. Not a bad lane.
Yeah, and Lifestealer is going to be starting with a Poor Man Shield, whereas the Centaur, he can't get the Poor Man Shield unless he brings it out with the Courier. So, but at least the Enigma did deny top, and so he might get at least level 2 or 3, depending on how well Team Frito does is zoning him out. So he's probably going to have to jungle, though. And notice that Enigma is starting in this bottom jungle. You kind of don't.
Too.
Yeah. You don't want to take your Centaur jungle, so this is good for him to start down here, at least for right now.
Yeah, he can eventually rotate up there. Talera is trying to leech experience. They have Thunderstrike. They don't really have a way of locking down the Centaur, so he can kind of leech experience for a little bit. But we'll keep our eyes peeled on both that lane and bottom, which is an IO Legion Commander lane for Freedom. Fmu just getting some right click. He has a Poor Man Shield already. He can get that Quelling Blade from the side shop. So we'll see how things pan out. This might be a pretty slow early game in terms of finding kills and stuff like that. Maybe once Enigma gets a couple of levels, he can rotate out. But I imagine we're just going to see a lot of farming. Maybe some battling happening bottom, but that's all I can see.
Yeah, this is a good setup for Freedom. They oh, I just want to cough so bad right now. Sorry. All right, I died for a second. All right, I'm back. Anyways, so. Whew, sorry guys, sick there. But I wanted to mention at the mid lane, it's pretty interesting to see both teams starting off with a Sentry Ward here because, yeah, there he goes. He drops it now. And then also, the Weaver has a Sentry just to D-Ward. You kind of need it, else you're going to die as the Weaver. You have to make sure that you don't have it. He wants to Sakuchi in and harass the Storm as much as he can, but he can't do that if there's a sentry down.
I mean, it's not going very well already for this Weaver. Maybe when he gets a couple more levels of Geminate or whatever, he can start doing some better in CS. But for now, it's not the easiest thing. Isle came over, was looking for the bounty rune, I believe, at the 2-minute mark. He won't find it. He'll have to back up in a way as GB doesn't want to get caught there. So they give the bounty to the Swindles Leshrac. Did he de-ward is the question. Yep, he's about to. All right, that ward's gone. No more sentry anymore. So that makes it a whole lot easier for 747. There is a haste rune up for the Storm, but Shikuchi's away immediately from 747. Just took like 3 hits that maybe he shouldn't have taken.
So far, I would say this is going pretty well for Complexity. You really would like them to have a... oh, mid lane.
Yeah,
So aggressive, this Weaver.
Yeah, exactly. He wants the CS, but he only has 2 stick charges and a Fairy Fire. So, I don't know. Maybe he wants to Shrine up, I would imagine. He's gonna Shrine up
he's just
with
playing
Freak.
as aggressive as he can, using all his mana before they do Shrine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he's getting back into it. He was having a pretty tough time earlier, but you're right. I think Complexity has done a pretty good job so far in this early game, especially with the Enigma Jungle. Even Centaur has 10 last hits, 11 last hits now. He's an Iron Talon, so jungling is a bit easier for him. So it's not that bad, Ryu.
Yeah, all things considered, bottom lane though,
Split Earth is going to come out as well. Should be enough damage here with 2 auto attacks. Fairy Fire comes out. They will get the kill, and that's 2 kills going the way of Complexity. They even use the Diabolic Edict, and that'll push back Valhalla, a.k.a. Boris. So pretty big kill.
Yeah, this is the only lane that really can get kills on, and the only people who can really die in these 2 lanes are the Wisp as well as the Lesh. But Lesh is guarded by the Warcry of the Sven, so it's really hard for them to just take him down because a lot of this is right clicks coming in early on from the Legion as well, and they do a really nice job there of Swindle setting it up on the Wisp. So Wisp playing a little bit too greedy there and cocky, but they're going to have Disruptor now coming down here. This is an interesting build. Going 2 Glimpse.
Yeah, he has 2 Glimpse. On top of that, he has nothing in his items. He's just going to Glimpse back Z-Freak, which is, I think he really just wants that bounty, and I don't blame him considering how little farm he has. He has enough for boots now, I guess, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Z-Freak having the Blightstone. He's level 5. Okay. All right, good start.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of 2 in Glimpse. I mean, you can definitely kill people, but they don't have any stuns on their team.
So
like, the only stun they have is Kinetic Field.
Yeah.
Early. It's like you're trying to kill people who are just so mobile, and you just have no stuns.
Yeah. No Kinetic Field. He should get level 4 relatively soon.
Oh, Talera getting gone on top. Stun.
Oh, TP.
Away.
Nice. And heads home. He doesn't head to the tier 1 tower. Bottom lane. Stormhammer coming out. Split Earth follows up as well, but the Sven is low. Warcry already used. He's going to run away. They can't quite get enough damage to kill him. That was with 3 heroes down bottom, including the Disruptor, and they just cannot find this kill on Moo's Sven. So, again, another kill goes their way, even 2 versus 3, and a very good start coming out for Complexity.
Yeah, when you're losing a 2v3 situation, you know it's rough.
Yeah.
And it's not like they can really do anything. Their heroes don't roam. Disruptor and Wisp. Oh, back again. Yep.
Jeez. And it's time to leave. Yeah. This is getting a little bit feisty, a little crazy. But I don't know if they go for this for Complexity. He's a little low in HP.
Look at this jungling buddies right up here. How are you doing, sir?
He doesn't have Black Hole yet. He does a level 2 Malphus. Yeah. This is going to be problematic for Storm. Overload comes out. He'll take a lot of damage. He won't die, but he's very close to dying. He's a bottle charge, too. And he's going to Shrine up. That's a good play. Z-Freak knowing if he chases it, he's just going to inevitably Shrine up. But still, look at Weaver coming up. And then he realizes, okay, well, the Shrine was used, so I was trying to put some pressure, but I can't find anything. I'll just head back to middle. So...
He's trying to make him waste mana by using the static. But it's not going to happen. Also, maybe rotations. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they are diving him this time. Dude, they used Glimpse. They don't have Kinetic Field.
The creep
Man, I'm
wasn't
actually
there, so...
Yeah, I'm just a little triggered right now.
Why?
Sorry.
Is this because of the lack of Kinetic Field?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you, man. I actually agree.
Oh, this is a dead Disruptor if I've ever seen one.
If he gets Split Earth, he's especially dead. He won't, but he still should fall to the Edict and auto attack damage. While Lightning, they're trying to turn this fight. Maybe not. Maybe the Disruptor will live. Still, Overload comes out. Static Remnant doing a great job. Great save coming out from the Storm Spirit to keep that Disruptor alive. Leshrac getting a bit aggressive, and if he had hit that Split Earth, it's a kill. But instead, no trade. He'll fall as the only kill there.
And he didn't even really need to even hit the split earth to kill him too. He just needed to like run up to him, keep right clicking him, and then most likely he's gonna die there.
No.
Meanwhile, time lapse in mid already.
Yeah.
DD Storm did help with that kill, but they are putting pressure now. Complexity on the top lane. Enigma does have 6. Lifestealer has to be a little bit careful sometimes here, but they could always bait this black hole out. 2 bottle charges now for the Wisp right behind him.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. This is not an easy push for them. They only have 2 heroes up here, and a lot of TPs are rotating in, including the Disruptor now. So Z-Freak needs to be careful. Talera as well. He has Stampede. Open Wounds will go. He might need to use it here. Black Hole comes out. It's on to 2. The Glimpse came in immediately. Beautifully done. Making sure that Disruptor doesn't get caught. TP coming up for Talera. It is still a 1-for-1, but the trade is more favorable, I believe, going the way of the Dire than it is the Radiant, considering who died.
Yeah, and Black Hole's down now,
Yep.
so they don't have to fear that. So it's going to be like more time for Radiant to just go. They just want to farm now that they use their Centaur ulti as well. And so that means that Dire, they need to put on pressure, but they can't really because their heroes are, they need levels. Like Disruptor and Wisp, they need their level 6 to set up kills, and then Lifestealer, he needs Armlet to have enough damage to do kills. You need Blinks, and Storm always wants to farm. So like Dire's lineup is really greedy if you think about it.
Yeah.
Even though I'm saying that as someone has an Enigma jungling on the enemy team.
Yeah, but even so, with this greedy lineup, they're still doing pretty well. They have 2 of the top net worth. They have the top 2 net worth. They are down to 750 gold right now, but that's not that much. I forgot to change the overlay again. I'm so... Oops, that's the wrong overlay. There we go. I forgot to...
Sell out.
Yeah, my bad. Well, they're going to use the God Strength. There's going to be the Split Earth, and should be enough damage. IO regen is not going to be enough. TP coming in, though, from the Lifestealer. We'll see if they want to keep fighting. Man, they are diving. They want this Wisp. The Geminate attack should be up and ready. One more auto attack. Time lapse out. Stormhammer. They'll try to take that to the Disruptor instead. They won't get the IO, but they will still get 2 out of it. They'll lose the Lurshrak. I don't think they care that much about Lurshrak dying, but here comes the Storm Spirit. Ball lightning in. Meanwhile, they do dive far enough. And they do get that kill. The Courier gets out in time. Somehow the Storm used all of his mana. They get the Radiant Courier. Oh my, what the hell just happened? What was that? Okay.
That was an Arcane Rune Weaver. That's what that was, my friends.
Yeah.
That's some broken stuff right there. Sakuchi is like always up.
It's like a 3-cent cooldown or something. Yeah, 5.
It's like you go in, you're ready to go in again.
Yeah.
Top lane, they keep setting up these kills, and they have Stampede now. This is like, you're worried now if you're...
Oh,
my
God. Glimpse comes out, but it's a little too late. Splitter fall up the double edge, and he explodes. A mist of red blood flying out of the hero. He dies almost instantly, so... Well, that's something.
And they're just making some good rotations around the map, just trying to get all these kills. And with these kills, that's helping them get closer and closer to the Blink Dagger of the Centaur, and it's just splitting up the map. And it's also hurting the Disruptor because he needs a lane so he can get level 10 or level 6. And even if he gets the Tome, right now he's still only going to be like level 5.5, and your Wisp is only 4 too.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. It's problematic. Missing out on a lot of experience here. So yeah, like you mentioned, very good stuff for Complexity. Like you said, the Blink is going to be coming out very soon for Talera. When that happens, it gets even easier for them. Midas is going to be the Enigma's choice, as we had talked about. S4 is offlane Midas purchases very often, but
stupendous.
Yeah, this is not easy.
If I was Dire, I would park my Disruptor mid for at least a good minute or 2, put a Sentry down, and just get him his level 6. They really can't do anything without him. You can maybe send the Legion and Lifestealer, either one off lane, like they're doing now, and then they can't really die. And if you're feeling worried about it, you can always have the Wisp TP in or just stand behind them.
Disruptor's about to get level 5, which is great, but again, you talked about it. You need 6 badly. Static Storm, very, very useful ability. Storm we haven't talked about. He's building to a Bloodstone as expected. He's not too far off. Well, he is a bit, but...
Well, what I meant is you should park the Disruptor mid a little bit sooner. Oh, mid lane. Stop, I mean.
Is still there. They're going to use it. The Edict comes out. Pulse Nova followed up by a Split Earth, which might not even be needed. And that's a bit of a hefty dive that doesn't really pay off. So that's problematic.
Yeah, they lost the Legion top, they lost the mid tier 1 bottom, and the mid and the bottom tier 1.
Yeah.
Everything's just going the way of Complexity right now. And they're even going to keep putting up the pressure. They have God Strength, they have Black Hole back up.
Rage forced out. And now this is even worse. I don't know if they're going to keep going. They have a couple heroes coming in to rotate to defend this. Again, no level 6 for the Disruptor. He just gets his Tome. Use that tone. There you go. Level 6 is up now. He's got it. Io's still not quite there, and it's going to be a while before he is, but at least it's something.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, Wisp is dead.
Yeah, he's mega
As
dead.
you speak of him.
Yeah.
Stop jinxing him, Mark.
Sorry,
please.
man. Commentator's curse. It's real. I'm usually the commentator's curse opposite. So like when I say something is like going well, it usually goes well. It doesn't change more often than that. But if you know what I'm saying, I'm just kind of blabbing out at this point. Where you?
Nah, you're good, man.
Thanks, buddy.
I mean, if you think you're not the curse, then you're not the curse.
I'm not the curse, dude. It's not me. Except for that one time. Then that's when I'm the curse. That poor IO. But anyways, it stands right now. It is a almost 4,000 net worth advantage for the Radiant. Just with that, the couple towers going down in that span of like 2 minutes, they were able to get 2 or 3 extra thousand net worth. They're looking for the Legion Commander. Split Earth hits just on the edge. The Pulse Nova comes out. The Edict is there as well. Good IO coming in, but he doesn't have Relocate. Even with that tether, it's not enough with the Overload, and they're going to chase him down, and he'll die yet again. And 747 is 4-0-3 on this Midweaver. Now bottom, it looks like there is going to be almost a Black Hole. The Static Storm comes out. The TP is there. The Glimpse back. They use the Black Hole to cancel the TP, and that might be all they need. Still getting low is Enigma. He dies to the Infest out. They can still get this kill. Double Stomp coming out. The Double Edge. The Storm Hammer's there. And the auto attacks will bring 3 down as Z-Freak gets himself involved in 2 kills after his death. And that Black Hole is more than enough to cancel that TP.
They're just rotating perfectly around the map. They're using their ultis and perfectly, and they're just not having the numbers for the Dire.
Uh-oh.
At least Swindle might be picked off.
I mean,
here.
He's doing a lot of damage. He almost goes down. The Edict
he's
might kill
dead.
him. The Edict. Oh, you got to remember, the Edict still goes after his death. Swindles is so okay with that kill. He is completely and utterly fine with that, I'm pretty sure.
Well, there's a thing called, Edict, and it kind of lasts after you die, so...
Yeah, he was not expecting that.
You got to go a little bit further there, like you said. Got to get out of that range. Just a really sloppy play coming in from Dire. I think it is going back a little bit to their draft, though. Like, if they had, like, a tiny... Oh, my... Not again,
No, dude, he can't. He can't. Oh, that's Tether. He's still probably dead.
He's
okay,
fine.
He's good.
No more mana.
747 is like, I'll let you live for once. But they aren't going to come top and push this, though.
If he had used the... Maybe he didn't want to use the bugs
I think
earlier.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's a good point.
If he had used it earlier, he would have died.
Oh,
but
yeah. It's fine either way.
Yeah, they want this tower.
Up, by the way. Yeah, they're going to get it. They're going to get this tier on top, I think. Yeah, they should be fine. He's a Dragonlance already. He's going Lincoln Sphere next. Good luck dealing with his Weaver. He's pretty strong already. And they have Blink up for Centaur as well. I don't know if we had already covered that, but that is problematic. They will trade tier 1s at the very least, which is not bad for the Dire team. They kind of need this. They still have like almost the top 2 in net worth. The Lifestealer is still farming very well. He's trying to build into an Echo Saber. He has his Armlet. And the Storm should have his Bloodstone relatively soon. He just needs the point, or rather the Vitality Booster and the Recipe. So he's not too far off.
Yeah, all things considered, the Dire side, they do have hope in this game, but it's going to have to come on the backs of, I think, the Legion Commander, because as we talked about, they don't really have setup right now, and because he went an Armlet just to farm faster, he still needs to farm that Blink Dagger, which they're not going to let them. The Complexity is not going to let them. They're going to either do Roche, they're going to put pressure on these tier 2s, and so they have to think, oh, nice glimpse, though.
Yeah, this is going to be... It's only a support, but it's a bigger kill than I think it seems. He almost actually kills the IO. That IO dies again. He's so sad. He is level 7 at least. Meanwhile, wrapping around, the Weaver is nearby, but he can't find anything. So, I mean, it's a kill, man. A kill is a kill at this point for them.
Anything they can get right now, that's what they want. They're just, like I said, stalling time right now. Got to get that Bloodstone on Storm, which he has it relatively soon. And then the Legion Blink. And then that's going to be their go time. Whereas Complexity, I mean, they don't even need to go, but they can. Like, that's their lineup. They can play super greedy with their lineup because of Enigma going to Midas, and his level 15 talent is going to be coming soon. He's level 12. So
yeah, that's a pretty good talent.
They can play greedy if they really want to.
I mean, is the cooldown reduction the thing that you get most of the time? I mean, 120 gold per minute is pretty freaking good, but he already has a Midas, so...
Well, the thing is, the way I calculated, you get like, I don't know, like 4,000 gold or something, 5,000 gold in like 20 minutes. So it's, at the end of the day, that's like a free refresher if you do go the item. But I personally do love the cooldown reduction just because of all the items you do get, and it helps your items.
Yeah. We'll wait and see what he's going to pick up here. He's 3 levels away, almost 2. He is, by the way, picking up a blink dagger. He has enough money for it. He'll buy it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Stormhammer is ready for this Sven. He has a headdress. He has an armlet. I thought he was going like Helm of the Dom at one point, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Lifestealer is still top of the net worth, man. Like, they're not, you know, he can still do some good work. Split Earth bottoms. God Strength. Stormhammer comes out as well. The IO, they should have the relocate save, but he won't use it, not yet anyway. So instead, he'll just watch his hero die. But the Storm comes in. And we're going to get the IO down too, as the Edict is more than enough with Pulse Snow on top. Here comes the Kinetic Field. Glimpse back is there. Felicia comes in at 747. They glimpse away. Chief kick a bitch, but he's actually going to fall. This poor Z-Freak is going to be out of the fight, but he's rotating back in. Already 3 dead, though, and just like that, pretty great fight again for the Radiant, as they will push the Tier 2 tower down now.
I mean, they're just winning fights 2v3, starting it out, and then they have everyone trying to rotate over and help, and it's just not working out. I mean, they're getting these kills. Like, if you think about it, Sven doesn't even have a blink dagger. They're not even killing them with, like, blinks and stuff. And now he has it. So when you think you're getting caught out already by just them walking up to you, that's when you know it's bad.
Yeah. It just feels like there are all the players on the Dire kind of on a different page in terms of setting fights up, setting kills up. They haven't really found anything this game, and they are now down 8,000 in net worth. The Edict will push mid. They're ready to fight. There is a Storm, a Nake's Bomb ready to go. He's got the ball lightning. Z-Freak is in the trees here. I don't think they see him or no. They're thinking about it. They know someone's nearby. They drop the sentry. They have the Stormhammer coming out with the blink dagger as well. And that sentry's not in range of the Observer Ward. They will go for the ball lighting. Black Hole comes out. And this should be 2 kills potentially. The split at the top. The stop is there. They will have the TP coming in from Lifestealer. No way to cancel it actually this time. So it's only the 1 kill for the Black Hole, but still it is the Storm falling. And he just got that Bloodstone. It is now down to 8 charges there, Ryu.
That was like their go time too, and that was like their one chance. But that really good ward from Complexity, as well as the positioning from Z-Freak. They're hiding in the trees, and then Storm not immediately trying to scout out where or why his smoke even broke, just allowed them to easily clean up that fight.
Yeah, that's not good. That is not great. And they're continuing to lose map control as the game progresses. It's getting worse and worse. Much like last game, Complexity is dominating once more. And I don't know, man. I don't know how they find these kills. Again, there's not much initiation. They don't have the Blink Dagger yet for the Legion. Maybe with that they can do something. But she's not... I mean, she's pretty close, actually. 1,700 gold. So how big is this Blink going to be for the Legion, though?
At this stage in the game, it's not going to be too big of a deal because he still needs a Blade Mail, in my opinion. You need a Blade Mail so that Weaver kills himself. Oh, they're initiating.
Yeah, they will maybe find this Shrek. Perhaps not. Glimpse back, Static Storm on it too. Pretty good stuff so far. Weaver is still pretty tanky. They really want this Shrek, but the Stomp comes in. They get the kill on the IO, and now it's time to back. There's no mana left in the Storm Spirit. Stormhammer is going to come out only onto 1, though. The God's Strength is in the open wounds will come through. This man fight is just too much. They also get the kill on the back end for the Disruptor. He'll fall. Time lapse back out. He can still chase. Another Blink Stomp from Talera. They get a triple kill for Felicia, Sean, a.k.a. 747, and now they will take the Tier 2 tower on top of it all. And so every team fight just gets worse and worse for this Dire team.
Yeah, they just, even without the Black Hole, they said, hey, let's fight. They don't have Black Hole. Let's try to get something done here, but it's still, they don't have initiation on the Dire side. They really can't do anything. They just need to kind of split up and farm on the map and try to get pickoffs with their Wisp, with their Legion, but Legion still needs a blink. And going back to the point still, it's you need a Blade Mail to even think about blowing up Sven or Weaver in the ultis, in the duels. And by the time that happens, Legion Commander is going to be completely countered. He already has his Lincolns on Weaver. I mean, you can't break the Lincolns now on the Weaver, so he's going to become immortal this game.
Yeah, I mean, he already has not died. And it looks like that'll be continuing to be the case. Not only that, but they've just picked up a mech for Swindles. So they actually spent so much time trying to bring down Swindles, and they still couldn't do it. He somehow still survived. He's pretty tanky inherently. He has 125 health with the talent, which really helps him a lot. So very difficult to bring him down.
Hey, he had the urn, as well as he's always carrying raindrops. Got the wand. That's always big plays, turnarounds. You can get a lot of value out of that HP. So, and even with this mech now, I don't even think Swindle's going to die anymore unless they commit 5 heroes on him.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to bring him down. Talaria looking to make a go on the Lifestealer. He had his Rage ready. He probably saw the Centaur walking up. There are 3 heroes bottom. If they want to make a go, they can. They have the Glimpse coming out. They have, of course, the Sven nearby. He might blink and use a Thunder Strike. He only used it underwater rather than the Stormhammer, but he will bring down the Disruptor. Good silence so far. Brings him down. Now they're relocated. This might not be the best idea. They have duel. He decides, I don't want to do that. They get off the Black Hole, and the Infest out comes through as the Lifestealer was inside that Storm Spirit. And now with the Stormhammer, they get the stun on 2. The relocate is done, but again, it's another 3 hero lost. Yes, they get the kill on the Centaur. I don't believe that's worth it in any way, shape, or form.
No. That's just them trying to make plays when they kind of have to around the map, but you're doing it on a tier 2 tower. And it's just a Centaur, right? You still have all these other good heroes that are really well farmed, and you have to blow up the Centaur before he casts Stampede, else the fight's just over completely.
Oh, meanwhile, bottom lane, he needs this kill so badly, and he gets it. Now he's back up to 7, but still, that might be too little, too late for the Storm Spirit. Any kill he can get, he needs, but it's only 1.
That's 700 gold, man. That's a lot.
It is a lot of money. He gets a full Oblivion Staff out of it, which is great, but he needs more.
Yeah, at this point in the game, with all the tier 2 towers gone, it's like a matter of time for like complexity. Okay, like when do another godlike
I think he
extended,
tried and that's the Lincoln Sphere you were talking about. My lord.
Now complexity, all they have to really do is think about like, when do we want to do Roche? Do we want to go for a smoke gank and kill somebody and then go high ground or Roche, or do we just want to go 5-man Roche and then try to end the game somewhere? That's kind of like what they're doing. And then Dire, they need to desperately farm up their little items that they need. They need the Deso on Lifestealer, but he's going for it seems to be he's going for Mjolnir. So interesting. I guess he's thinking like, I need to clear out waves. I need another way. The Warcry is too much right now coming from Sven. So he's like, okay, well, I need to do some magic damage, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Good scan, though.
Scan was successful. Storm and the IO are heading out. As you mentioned, here's the thought process. Do we go for a pick? Do we go for Roche? And it looks like it's going to be the pick as they'll come in. Stormhammer comes out. Good ball lightning. The Invis Rune comes his way as well. Do they have detection? It looks like they will drop a sentry. Storm is able to get away. Unfortunately, the Disruptor is not, since he will die almost instantly. Godlike Spree, beyond Godlike Spree for Felicia Shan. 11-0-6 on the 747 Weaver. When Relocate comes back, they'll bring the IO back in, find him, and transition this into Roche pretty much immediately.
He's like Godlike, gets 2 kills and only gets like 200 for each. That is broken.
I mean, even with the nerfs, Weaver, I feel like, is still a very good hero. Like, I would think it was a base damage of 3 that was reduced at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, his base damage is horrible now.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't seem to matter this game for him.
He's just the boss. He's showing that he can play, he has a bigger hero pool.
Yeah, he's getting into it. He'll find himself at Aegis. The Desolator's coming in about 300 some odd gold. So, man, I don't know what to do. You're down 16,000 net worth. You got to do something. But as you mentioned, they're kind of countered at every corner here now with the Lincoln Sphere up and BKB for the Enigma. Again, we already talked about it. They don't really have much of a way to stop. Well, they don't have any way of stopping the Black Hole, and that is BKB. It's impossible. So.
And what did he go for the talent? We kind of...
He did 15%.
The 15%, yeah. Nice. We were right.
Yeah, dude. We did it, man.
We can tell everybody to suck it now.
It's the 40-second respawn time seems pretty good, but maybe he wants more health. I don't know. Maybe he's like, I'm not dying to begin with, so I don't need this. I don't know. That'd be funny.
I wish we got the production value of when they got the talents.
Oh, we do have that.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I need to get used to that while casting, though. It's like, I can't see it. Oh, they're hunting, though, this Enigma.
Oh, you should have.
So
he doesn't have Midnight Pulse.
He doesn't have it.
It's on 5-second cooldown. Ball lightning, they're going to jump in on the Swindle. Shrek, he'll mech up and stays alive for a moment longer. Splitter comes out, does nothing. They glimpse back to Sven as well to the top lane. So...
time to go high ground.
Yeah, they could have pushed there. I don't know. It was kind of interesting. They backed it together, but I guess that it's just too much to deal with at this point. Anyway.
Man, all of a sudden, Lifestealer accumulated like an absurd amount of gold. I felt like he had nothing, and now all of a sudden he's really close to finishing his Mjolnir. So all things considered, the cores are trying their best to keep up. Oh my, that was horrible.
Disruptor is having a rough game. There's not enough mana for a Stormhammer, but they have to stop him with a double edge and a couple of auto attacks. It's an easy IO kill. They also will find this poor LC top. I think Black Hole's used. In fact, it was. It's a solo kill for an Enigma. That's pretty nice, especially against the Legion Commander. It's one way to do it. Well,
everything's falling apart.
Really
you wanna? It's like here, have a chicken leg here, have some chicken breast over here. Everyone's dining well tonight.
Yeah, well, everybody for the Radiant. Meanwhile, the Dire are dining on scraps. Like they're not getting much. They're the dog at the table at this point.
Dang. What?
Yeah, it's rough. That's how it is, man.
Dogs at the table.
I mean, that's how it is, though. I'm not wrong. They are having. It is a 21,000 other advantage for the Radiant team at 27 minutes into the game, which means a full set of racks potentially is about to fall. They already have enough trouble bringing down this Weaver once. In fact, they haven't killed him once this game. With Aegis, with Lincoln Sphere, they're going to have to try to kill him twice, maybe even more so, because of time lapse as well. They'll smoke up. It is going to be a Nake's Bomb ready. Smoke has been broken. Storm Spirit will try to find Felicia Shan. He's just going to Shikuchi up and just try to auto attack. Static Storm was available, but the kinetic field was there. They didn't go for it. Ball lighting away. They need to run. They have Stampede to do the blink stomp if they want it, and they're close by. But instead, they're just going to push it back to this Rax again and probably get a full set.
Yeah, they need to not fight outside the base. They only win these fights if they get the shrines popped off.
It's not easy. Well, Melee Rex is going to fall for pretty much nothing. Splitter cover the retreat of the Weaver. They'll head top. They want to get another tier 3 tower. They can even back up and take shrines and still have Aegis for a couple more minutes. What does the Sven have? AC has been completed, so it's even more pushing potential coming out. Drop a word out of the ground. Edict is there. Tier 3 is gone. And they kind of just can only look on. They'll jump in with the Storm Spirit. They have the Nake's Bomb. There's the Malphite coming out. Stormhammer. They pop the God Strength. Storm is going to be able to ball it anyway. They've already lost the IO, though, and now the Disruptor is gone as well. The Shrine will come out, and that's doing some good work for this Legion Commander, but you can see the Weaver is just owning. Running in. Auto attacks aplenty. Geminate attack. Jump, stop. They even find the Storm down for 46 with no buyback. That is game number 1. They even used the Black Hole celebratorily. And, well, Complexity are now up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series.
I think this game comes down to just the draft. As we talked about, it's nice to have a vehicle and all for the Lifestealer, but I feel like the vehicle was enough with just the Legion getting a fast blink. And then when you have a Wisp and a Disruptor, you don't have anybody that can roam. You kind of need a hero that's really, really active early on that can set the tempo when you have a Lifestealer and Legion who need farm. So if they had maybe a Tiny or something in the mid lane and or something along those lines where they can get kills or burst people down and do something on the map, then I feel they had a better chance. But since they had all greedy cores that needed farm and then they didn't get the levels on their supports early enough, it kind of fell apart from the laning stage.
Yeah, we go back to that point where we're like, well, they're both level 4. That's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, Lesh was 6, Enigma 8. I mean, well, dang, that happened.
It was not good. So with that, we will take a quick break. We will jump into game number 2 of Complexity versus Freedom momentarily. And, yeah, so make sure you guys stick around. We'll be right back.